want you to set me on fire. Come on, what is that from? When We Catch Who? Is it like a TV thing? Hi, I'm Emily Blunt, and I'm gonna guess some lines from my films. Okay. You went upstairs. Oh my God, why didn't you just crawl into bed with her and ask for a bedtime story? Devil Wears Prada.
You went upstairs. Oh my God, why didn't you just climb into bed with her and ask for a bedtime story? Okay.
I didn't know enough in any way about the fashion industry going into that movie. I didn't quite realize how intense it was, and friends of mine who've worked in the fashion industry say that that film does manage to capture that. But I think it was a bit of a voyage of discovery for me in every way, like not just about the industry itself, but about style and the art of it and like how important it is. And I think I'd just been dressing like a teenage boy until that happened, and I learned a lot. You don't get to commit the sin and then ask us all to feel sorry for you when there are consequences. I know this because it's recent. It's Oppenheimer.
You don't get to commit the sin and then have us all feel sorry for you that it had consequences.
For Oppenheimer, I prepared by reading the book that the movie was inspired by, American Prometheus, which is like that. But there were so many wonderful little snippets of her and indicators of sort of what a startling force she was as a person and how unusual in a way she was for the time, what a nonconformist she was. She was pretty fierce, and there were wonderful clues in that book that unlocked the mystery of her for me. I mean, I always felt that you are left with this feeling of ambiguity as to, and it's probably due to Cillian's sort of very mercurial, beautiful performance, that keeps you leaning in, wondering what he feels about what he's created. You really see the trauma in his character of what he's unleashed on the world and how conflicted he probably is about it. But what was interesting is when I read the script, I sort of wasn't sure if he was truly atoning for his sins or if he was sort of playing the martyr to try to absolve himself of it. We're on the brink of adventure, children. Don't spoil it with too many questions. Mary Poppins.
We're on the brink of an adventure, children. Don't spoil it with too many questions.
There's something about the buoyancy or the atmosphere that Rob Marshall creates. I miss making musicals with Rob. I mean, he gives you wings of confidence and freedom. I think it's still really unnerving singing in front of people. I had terror taking on the role of Mary Poppins. I think that the fact that it had been played by somebody so iconic and it was such an iconic role, the pressure I probably put on myself to kind of carve out new space for myself and make a different version of her, I think maybe that's the most scary part. What is your crossbow doing on the kitchen table? It's, there's only one movie I've had a crossbow in, it's 5-year engagement. Wow, pulling that one out.
Whoa. What is your crossbow doing on the kitchen table?
I was glued to Jason Segel for the entirety of that movie. You know, it was a 5-year engagement, so we were in it with each other. I'm a little... Oh, this gets me, okay. I'm a little rusty in the Pukamatuna dialect, so I want you to translate what I say word for word. This is Jungle Cruise.
I'm a little rusty in the Pukamatuna dialect, so I want you to translate what I say word for word.
Okay.
That scene was so impossible to get through. I mean, I've never claimed to speak Pukamatuna. You'd have to take that up with Dwayne Johnson, who claims to speak Pukamatuna. Hearing Dwayne Johnson speak Pukamatuna, which he clearly was just making up on the spot, I just remember Jack Whitehall and I just weeping with laughter.
Tata Shawawasu. Yene Yeuri Wasawa McGregor. Super Pariasu. Watashi Titaka.
I remember Jama, our director, going like, guys, please, I literally don't even have a scene to cut. It was impossible. That was one of the hardest days on set. Who are we if we can't protect them? We have to protect them. Quiet Place. Quiet Place, part 1. Yeah. because I said that to John when he was still alive. But
Who are we? If we can't protect them.
I mean, I love the freedom of the unspoken stuff between people. I love it even in a regular movie. It's sort of the more interesting parts of scenes is the space between people. So I loved the challenge of it, and you can communicate so much, you realize, you know, without having to overword things. Okay. All this power wasted on parties when there are far greater uses. What is that from? All this power wasted on parties. Parties. I'm not talking about political parties, are we? What are we talking about? What is that from? What have I done? Oh my God. Oh, for God's sake. My Little Pony, the movie. How did I not pull that out?
All this power wasted on parties.
My favorite pony is the one I play. Tempest? Is her name Tempest? Anything is possible because I'm not the girl I used to be. Is it Young Victoria? Oh. Is it some random one again? Anything is possible because I'm not the girl I used to be. I don't know. What is it?
Anything is possible because I am not the girl I used to be.
Of course you read the book, you know, and then you realize you're going to have to create your own version of what people have loved about the character. And also just that you've got an unreliable hero is kind of fun to play that, because you're kind of playing two things with that part. You're playing the truth of what she's experiencing, but also you need to remember what the audience are going through and kind of thread that needle between truthful and also trying to pull the wool over a bit. It was fun. Come find me when you wake up, I say to Tom Cruise in Edge of Tomorrow. Or All You Need Is Kill, or Live, Die, Repeat. It could be any of those titles. I don't really know why it has so many titles.
What? Come find me when you wake up.
I mean, I don't think I'd really properly ever worked out before that movie. I think I'd done what most people did in the gym, which is sort of wander around checking their phone, and I was unprepared for how hard that was going to be. Like 2 workouts a day for 3 months, and those exosuits were so heavy and so extreme. But I kind of loved transforming like that for a part. It was pretty cool. I love working with Tom. He's really joyful to work with because he's so excited about the process. He's so passionate. He was unbelievably generous to me, and I felt challenged me and sort of tightened the screws on me when it came to what I thought I could do physically. And you know, he's got no problem jumping off buildings, so you kind of have to join the party a bit. When we catch him, I want you to set me on fire. When we catch him, I want you to set me on fire. Come on, what is that from? When we catch who? Is it like a TV thing? Is it Boudica? Yes. That was my first TV job. Boudica, Warrior Queen.
When we catch him, I want you to set me on fire.
I remember it was in Romania. It was the middle of winter. I remember loving it. Like we were such a crew together staying in Bucharest, Romania. And I remember the cold. I remember the horse riding was really scary, sort of bareback horse riding in it. Everyone covered in blue woad. And I remember one really seedy nightclub that we went to. I mean, I'm still in disbelief now that I get to do this job. It is such a gift. I just love it so much. And in the beginning, I don't remember having sort of outlandish ambitions for myself. I remember being thrilled at whatever gig I got. So I still maybe disassociate a bit. Like, where I am now compared to where I started out. But I'm grateful, I guess, for the journey.